Today is day 13. Get your worksheet out. We'll get started. Capitalization. You want to capitalize the names of events and periods of time. They have several examples there. For an event, Way Out West Oktoberfest. Historical event, the Spanish-American War. What you want to note there is even though there's a hyphen between Spanish and American, you want to make sure that both of those words are capitalized, the S in Spanish and the A in American. A religious event, Epiphany, would be capitalized. A period of time, Bronze Age, the B and the A are capitalized. So keeping those things in mind and things that you've already learned about capitalization, let's take a look at the sentence. Funds from keying in for a cure, an event held at Logan Store at Fashion Fest Mall, will benefit the American Cancer Society. All right, so obviously the F in funds is going to be capitalized because it's the first word of a sentence. But now I want you to look at keying in for a cure because they're reviewing something here. Keying in for a cure is an event. And above, they said that you're going to capitalize all the words in an event. That's if they're main words. This would be similar to like a title of a book. Remember, you don't capitalize the little words, just the main words. So if you look at this keying in for a cure, actually there's only two words that are going to be capitalized, and that's the keying and a cure, because the other words are little words. They don't get capitalized. All right. Funds from keying in for a cure, an event held at Logan Store, L and S would be capitalized, at Fashion Fest Mall, F and M will be capitalized, will benefit the American Cancer Society. The A, the C, and the S will all be capitalized. So there you go. Funds from keying in for a cure, Logan Store, Fashion Fest Mall, American Cancer Society. Punctuation. Dr. Lee discussed a drug that causes blood vessels to grow. It may fight heart disease. Okay, this is going to review what we learned about the semicolon, which was either yesterday or the day before, where you take two independent phrases, and instead of making them into two sentences, you put the semicolon in between to show that they're related, but they're not complete independent sentences from each other. All right, so looking at that, Dr. Lee discussed a drug that caused blood vessels to grow. It may fight heart disease. All right. The doctor is going to have a period at the end. Okay. Then going to grow and it, there would be a semicolon because they're related but not independent sentences of each other. So you use the semicolon. And then you're going to remember the period at the end of the sentence. Okay, next we have the parts of speech, subject, verb. Remember, the subject of a sentence tells who or what the sentence is about. The verb tells what is, was, or will be, or what happens, happened, or will happen. The verb may consist of one word or a phrase, more than one word. By deleting all prepositional phrases, you can find a subject and verb more readily. A prepositional phrase usually won't be the subject, verb, direct object, or anything essential in the sentence. We did this also a couple days ago, where they had you cross out the prepositional phrases so you could find the subject and the verb. And a couple days ago, you also had to find the direct object, but today they're just asking for the subject and verb, so woohoo! Here's your sample sentence. Before dinner with clients, their realtor reviewed their contract. Okay, they crossed out the two prepositional phrases, before dinner and with clients, so they could focus in more on what's left to figure out what the subject and the verb is. And based on that, you could say, okay, this sentence is about the realtor. What did the realtor do? Reviewed. And then if you wanted to be, prove you're extra smart, what would the direct object be there? Their realtor reviewed what? their contract. Contract is the direct object. Okay, so let's look at your directions carefully. Place one line under the subject and 2 lines under the verb or verb phrase. Well, to make it easier, let's cross out the prepositional phrases first. You might want to have that list that I gave you if you're still a little shaky on what's a preposition and what's not. Looking at that list, you would see that on is a preposition, so on Wednesday is a prepositional phrase. This wasn't part of the directions, but go ahead and cross it out so you're not looking at it as a potential subject. Our team will practice after school. After is a preposition, so after school is a prepositional phrase. Cross it out. For an hour. For is a preposition. For an hour is a prepositional phrase, so cross it out. And what you're left with is our team will practice. Based on that, what do you think the subject is? What is the sentence about? Who or what is doing? The answer would be team. So 1 line under team. And what is the team doing? They will practice. Will practice, 2 words making up a verb phrase. Will practice should both be underlined twice. And I forgot to put that on my handy dandy dry erase board, but I think you guys will get it. All right, team is the subject, will practice is the verb. Prefixes, roots, and suffixes. The prefix d and dis means away from. So they want you to write the meaning, and then they have a word that many students abhor. They say, use a dictionary if necessary. Look what I happen to have. Dictionary. You might want to keep one by your desk if you don't have one. The first word is deport. Okay, so we know that D means away from. So what might deport mean? Well, looking in my dictionary, what I see for deport is to send out of the country by legal deportation. Okay, deportation is removing someone from a country. So to deport would mean to send out of the country. All right, we said D and dis mean away from, so you'd be being sent away from the country. So write down the definition of deport. All right, deport, to send out of a country. And then dis also means away from, so disband, disband, a group disbanded. What does that mean? We might know what it means, but how do you define it? Disband. Oh, sorry, trying to find it. There it is. Disband, to break up the organization. All right, so we said dis means away from. So you were organized. Now we're moving away from being organized. We are disbanding. So disbanding would mean to move away from being organized or breaking up an organization. That brings you right down to the sentence combining, which you always do on your own, and I always look forward to reading. So good luck with those. Thank you for your time, and God bless you.